What's up, Goat Tires? It's JC and this is your video on the fundamentals of our flanks. So grab a seat or a goat and let's get started. What's up, Goat Tires? So in this video we're going to talk about the basics of flanking our goats. I will say that the way that I flank a goat is typically a little different than what you would normally see Goat Tires do. But maybe that you'll get something great out of the way that I flank and something that'll help you in your own goat tying runs. So the first thing whenever we're starting out is we want this right knee in the goat's flank, and we want this left knee right here in front of the shoulder. The reason we want this knee right here in front of the shoulder is to kind of keep this goat from moving forward on us, in case they are those type of goats that are fresher and do want to move away from us. The next thing that we want is, as you can tell, my feet are to the back side of this goat. That's because my legs are a little bit longer for this goat. So if I tried to stand like this, it'd be very uncomfortable. So I spread my feet out because I am a little bit longer legged, and it gives me that comfortability to sit in this flank. The next thing is you can tell that I'm bent at my knees. This is what I call sitting in the rocking chair. The reason I do this is so that whenever I go to get this goat up, this goat's body is going to roll right up onto the top of my thighs, and it's going to sit right there for me. Next thing is I always put my hand right on the flank. I don't go to the inside of my goat, I go right to the flank, and then I also go to this goat's elbow joint so that whenever I go to flank, I'm holding it and it can't hardly move. So whenever I go to flank this goat, you'll notice that whenever I go to flank, I take my knees out and hit this goat up. The reason I do that is because that's going to give me the leverage to get this goat up. Instead of having to use my back to pull up, I can use my legs and get this goat off the ground. I am pro lower body movement. I don't really like to use my back or upper body much whenever we're tying goats. So yeah, I just really think that we can control our whole goat with our lower body only. So whenever I get started, again, right knee in the flank, left knee in front of the shoulder to keep this goat from moving. I'm sitting in my flank. I'm not bent over. I keep a straighter back, and I hit this goat up so that it rolls up on top of me. Now the next thing that I want y'all to realize is my hands go straight back to my pockets. They don't go out, because when our hands go out, that's whenever our goats hit away from us and then we have to travel to get to them. We go straight back, so it's almost like I'm pulling my shoulder blades together in my flank. So another thing to kind of keep in mind is when we're going down with our goats, we want our goats to go with us. So kind of a visualization that I say is, whenever we have the goat up in the air, we need to keep pulling all the way up to the sky with our hands, so that whenever we're flanking, our goat doesn't hit and then we hit. That's whenever you get the whole legs being out from underneath your knee, and it's a lot of mess. And if we're on a fresher goat, if there's any space between me and my goat, there's a chance that he can get away from me. So in this flank, what I'm going to do is bump this goat up, hold it, and go straight down. Whenever I flank this goat, another thing that I want to emphasize is that this right knee touches the ground. We don't want it up, because whenever it's up, guess what? We're losing contact. So try to push this right knee to the ground. Hi, black goat. And always make sure that you're holding those goats' feet up the whole time while you're going down. So if I'm air goating this, literally all I'm doing is this is my natural goat tying stance. I'm bumping so this goat's feet are rolling up and straight out, not up towards the sky, but straight out. I'm rolling it and I'm holding, and going straight down with it. And then I don't lose any contact with my goat. So if I'm doing this in real life, this is what it should look like. And then again, one drill that I really like to do, especially with little kids, is teach them how to hold this front leg up so that they learn how to hold that whole goat as they're going down. Instead of just like dropping, I really like to teach them just to hold it right here, and then we go for our flank and tie, or our gather and tie. Another thing that I'm really adamant about is the way that my feet land whenever I'm flanking my goat. So a lot of times I'll see girls, they let their feet hit and they're off of them. It's like they're not having any kind of pressure in their feet, but that's how a lot of times we lose the pressure in our goats. So basically what's happening is all of my weight is going from my butt and hips straight into my knees, which is just causing me to dive down with this goat. And a lot of times you'll see kids hit like this. That's because they're landing on their knees. So I really like to try to stay right here on my toes and keep pressure so that I can keep the balance in my feet, and so that I can control my flank the whole way down. So if I'm doing this with my back turned to y'all, it should look like this. I stay up on my toes, I stay low in my flank, I don't come up in my hips. So if I'm staying here, I shouldn't come up. I should stay right here and only go straight down. So like what that would look like, if you watch my hip right here, it would be, and then hitting. We lose contact with our goats a lot that way. So, but again, correct form, please make sure that your knees are hitting that flank every single time. We lose contact with our goats if our knee is way out here. We don't have any source of getting this goat up except for with our back. So I'd have to really hit it hard. Another thing that I don't do is teach straddling, because if I have a kid who has really short legs, they hit a goat right here. They're not anywhere close to being in position, so they can't get this goat up. So they're automatically having to pick their goat up like that. It's one of the reasons I don't like straddling. If you are straddling, please make sure that your right knee is not sticking out here. Make sure it's hitting that flank every single time. But yeah, that's literally the basics of flanking. Just keeping full control of your goat. I highly suggest getting a lot of videos of yourself and making sure that you don't see any daylight between your legs and the goat's body. Because if you do, you're losing that little bit of contact with your goat. But yeah, if y'all have any questions about it, please reach out to me. And make sure subscribe to the channel, like this video, of course, and leave a comment in the section below if you want to see something else, or if you have a question about this video.